Thank you so much for clicking on the video. This video, entitled 75 Hard Day 0, will serve as the official jumping on point for the next 75 days as I take you on an almost real-time journey with me as I work to complete the 75 Hard program. Now, I've entitled this Day 0 because much of the footage that you're about to see was captured on my official Day 1. I didn't want my Day 1 video to be an hour long though, so I've taken out a lot of where I established the rules of 75 Hard in addition to some personal rules that I've also added in that I'll be following, and also lay out the baseline and my starting point for the program. So things like my starting weight, my body fat percentage and everything, that's all detailed here. Before we jump straight into the video, a couple things I want you to know. Number one, you're gonna hear me throughout this series refer to the date of January 7th quite often, although my official 75 Hard start date was January the 14th. The reason for that is I actually have a video on the channel where I go through what I learned my first time completing 75 Hard. And one of the things that I describe in that video, if you haven't seen it, you can check it out, is how I wanted to start out a week before the program began by detoxing my body. So that means getting over the sugar crash and starting to eat well and just starting to move again before jumping straight into the program. So January the 7th is my actual real, what I consider my starting point where I started the life change once again. But January the 14th was officially Day 1 of 75 Hard. So just want to put that out there so nobody's confused about that. And then the second thing that I want you to know is along this journey, I'm not just doing this for me. I'm doing this, as cheesy as it sounds, I'm doing it for you. If you're the person that's watching this and you're like, man, I've always thought about doing 75 Hard, or maybe you haven't thought about doing 75 Hard, but you just know you need a life change. Guys, I'm nobody special. I'm just a normal guy in my 40s who allowed myself to get really out of shape, and I'm starting from a very bad place. But you'll see that just through being consistent and following the program, I am achieving some amazing results. And that is not hype. That's not clickbait. Here I'm at the halfway point, and you will be blown away when you see what my results are up to this point. And I can't wait to see what they are at the end of the program. But I promise you, if you follow me on this journey, if you tune in and day out, you will see that you can do this. You can do this. I'm not only gonna give you insight into the workouts I'm doing every day and what I'm eating, but also just into my mindset and what I'm thinking about and who I'm trying to be as a person. It's incredibly personal to me, and I'm gonna have to kind of lay it all bare for you, so I really hope that you'll consider joining me on this journey. The best way to make sure you don't miss any of my videos is to consider subscribing. If you like what you see, subscribe. And the best way that you can actually help the channel out is to either hit that like button or to check some of the links down below, which are affiliate links, which just allows us to grow and expand a little bit. But even if you do none of that, I hope that you're blessed. I hope you're inspired. I hope you're encouraged by what you see. Without any further ado, here's Day 0. Let's jump into it.
I'm Andy Frisella, and welcome to the 75 Hard app. 75 Hard is the only program that can permanently transform your life starting from the inside.
All right, so you see that one of the very first things is that you're required to track off everything, track and check off every item every day. Here are the rules for 75 Hard. So as you can see, follow this program every day exactly as it's stated for 75 days and become a new, better you. That includes 2 45-minute workouts. 1 workout must be outdoors. Follow a diet. No alcohol or cheat meals. Drink 1 gallon of water. Read 10 pages nonfiction. Audiobooks do not count. And take a progress pic. You have the option to share to Instagram, which I'm not going to do, which I'll explain in a second. And I am starting fresh. About 75 Hard, the book, the merch. I don't really care to read any of that stuff, but start day 1 now. If you continue, day 1 will begin now. If you're looking to learn more, check out the podcast above or visit 75 Hard. This is my second time doing it, so I'm going to start now. And this is what it looks like. And essentially, you have to check off each one of these every day. If you miss one item, you fail. Now, with that said, let's talk about the rules that I'm going to be abiding by for this. So, I don't drink. Never have in my entire life. Don't drink alcohol at all. And as you can see, that's one of the things. It's no cheat meals or alcohol. So because I don't drink alcohol, I'm going to challenge myself in a different way. And that is no social media for me, because that tends to be one of my vices where I just get lost in. And this year I'm aiming to create more and consume less. So the very first thing that I want to do right now is I want to go to my social media and I'm going to delete it off of my phone. So here first, I know I've got Messenger right here. Let's remove this and let's delete the app. To delete Instagram. I do have to leave LinkedIn on here just for work purposes. Facebook is the big one. Probably the biggest one for me is Reddit, because I like to read wrestling forums and game forums and stuff. So I can really doom scroll on there. So that's going to be a tough one. The next thing for me is, that one says no cheat meals, and you have to follow a diet and no cheat meals. So let's talk about the diet that I'm going to be following. So the diet that I'm going to be following is I'm going to be fasting every day. So you can see right now on my phone, I'm currently in the midst of an 18-hour fast that will end at 2:30 today, because I started it pretty late last night. This past week, as I was ramping up to prepare to go into 75 Hard, I started with 16-hour fast, and now this week I'm moving to 18-hour fast, and then next week I'll be moving to 20-hour fast. So that's part of what I'm going to do, is I'm going to be fasting, and I'll be tracking it here with the Zero app, and you can see that it does have a history here, so it can kind of show you that I did complete that. If the circle's not green, then I didn't complete the fast as I said I was going to. And for my own rules, if I don't complete that, I'm going to consider that a fail of my diet plan. So in addition to that, obviously I'm going to be eating well, clean and everything. But my family, my mom and my brothers, have just organized for us to get together. I don't know the frequency. It's probably going to be once a month or once every few weeks or something, to get together and have dinner at my mom's house so that she can cook for us. And that's not something I'm going to count as a cheat meal. I'm going to go and I'm going to eat whatever my mom makes for the purpose of, again, maintaining balance in my life. And that's not again, that's not a cheat meal, how I see it, right? That's not me choosing to go off of my diet and eat something, that's not healthy, like hamburgers or whatever. It's just going to be my mom's meal, my mom's food, and it'll probably be the only meal that I eat for that day. So as those come up, I will be having dinner with my family. It's not worth trying to be so strict and cut out even that one meal and sacrificing the time and experience with my family. I've done this before. I know what this program is. And to me, that's not what I'm going to consider a cheat meal. Now, If outside of that, I'm in a situation where I choose not to eat right or healthy or whatever, pizza, hamburgers or whatever, then yeah, I would consider that a cheat meal. But in this instance, for those gatherings, I will not consider that a cheat meal. Speaking of meals, I did prep. I did meal prep this weekend. So we've got a whole mess of grilled chicken and rice and, either green beans or broccoli or whatever. So that's going to be my primary staple. You'll see, at least for this week, and then it's just always going to try to be really healthy minded options. So in addition to the 2 workouts, the gallon of water, no cheat meals, now you see I've deleted no social media, all of that stuff. I also have a daily routine that I follow. So my daily routine includes reading my Bible every day. And you can see here, I track this on my Streaks app. So you can see I've read my Bible every day for, well, I know that's kind of blurry, but for 1,878 days here. And then in addition to that, I also do Duolingo every day. Not a huge thing, but I do Duolingo. And you'll notice that I journal every day. Right now it's showing that it's incomplete, and that's because I haven't journaled for today yet, but I have a streak of 1,474 days on that. So in addition to everything else, my day is always going to begin with diving in and reading my Bible. Right now I'm reading the Bible plan of Biblical Storyline. So I'm on January the 15th, and this is how it'll start for me. I will read my Bible, then I'll read my book, then I will spend some time journaling and get to the workouts and everything. Just finished up my Bible reading. I'm going to go on to reading a book now. This is one of the things about the program that I really don't care for, because I don't think that it fully understands the way that different people learn. I understand the purpose, but I don't fully agree with it, and that is reading 10 pages of nonfiction. And the part of it that I take issue with is that audiobooks don't count. Now, I understand, essentially, they don't want people to just listen to a book as a passive activity and be doing something else and not actually be focused on what it is. But people like myself learn differently. So I'm an auditory learner. For me, just sitting down and reading words on a page, I really don't retain anything from it. And I read over and over and over, and it can actually become a really frustrating experience. But if I can hear it, I'll retain it a lot better. So in order to abide by the rules of the program, because even though I don't agree with them, that's part of the challenge, right? Is just following a program. What I typically do is I will purchase 2 versions of each book that I read. I will purchase the Audible version, and I will try to find books that have both Audible and Kindle, because there's a feature called Whisper Sync that will actually allow you to read along as it reads to you, as it's narrating to you. So I'm actually reading the words on the page, but I have that auditory cue that I look for that helps me learn. So the first book that I'm going to be reading along this journey is The Mountain Is You. I'm pretty excited about it. The whole premise of it is about self-sabotage, which is something that I've been terribly guilty of over the years. So I'm anxious to see what it has to offer.
Of our comfort zones.
You can see kind of how this works here.
When we can no longer rely on our coping mechanisms to help distract us from the problems in our lives,
So you see I'm able to actually see the words on the page. I'm reading, I'm tracking how many pages there are, so I get the 10 pages, but I'm also able to hear it. Costs a little bit more money, but I found it's the most effective for me. Okay, so let's establish the baseline of where I am physically. I use the in-body analysis machine at a local nutrition place, and you can see my starting weight is 233.7 pounds, skeletal muscle mass 83 pounds, body fat percentage really high, 36.8%. Very disappointed in that. Body fat 86 pounds, dry lean mass 39 pounds, total body water 108 pounds, visceral fat very high, 18. I carry a lot of fat in my abdomen, and my in-body score is 62. So I will do this probably periodically throughout the process, but I'll make sure for sure to show the end results in comparison here to the starting results. In addition to that, just to set the comparison here at home, I am going to weigh myself on my own scale, and everybody can kind of see that. So here on my own scale, 231.4 is what that read. Yeah, 231.4 right now. But like I say, I have been kind of eating good the past few days, getting myself ready for this. One last thing that I want to do is check my waist measurement. So I'm going to set you down for a second here. And I'm not gonna show myself without a shirt on or anything like that. I'm much too modest for that. But I will show the measurements just like I am right now. So with my shirt on and kind of the starting and what the ending is. So right now, if I pull this back up and turn this guy around, let's see if I can figure out how to make this work. It is, starting measurement is, focus. Okay, 47.5 inches on my waist right there. Yeah, 47.5 inches. So that's the starting measurement there. So those are kind of what I'll be doing. Like I say, one thing I'm not going to do is, I know everybody wants to see the before and after pictures and the dramatic change, but I'm too modest to show myself shirtless. I've never done that in my entire life. But what I am going to do is I'll have that analysis to be able to show and compare to, and then in addition to that, I ordered this suit, what's it called? A Zoofly or something? I don't remember what it's called. But anyway, it's a suit that you're able to wear, and it kind of measures your body and then creates these 3D scans of the shape of your body. So hopefully, even though I'm not going to show, my raw, bare chest, I'll have that will kind of show the state and the shape of how my body changes. That should be in later this week. So unfortunately, I can't, start off today with it, but I will have it here early on in the challenge that I'll be able to use. And hopefully it works the way that it seems like it's going to. So there's the baseline. There's the starting numbers. There's where I'm at. It's pretty discouraging, to be quite honest, to see those numbers, because that's worse than I was the first time I started 75 hard. But again, if you kind of want to know what happened and why I went from being so successful in my first round of 75 hard to being back where I am now, I'm going to have a video coming out called How I Lost Myself by Finding Peace. And it's about a big part of the journey that I've been on, which is to just find peace within my mind and myself. And that leads me to another point where if I fail throughout the course of this, I'm going to post that. You're going to see it in real time that I failed. And then, we'll go from there. Because the thing is, there's no point, or there's no sense in me trying to fake success, because just to get views or something like that, right? In order to fake success, that would come at the cost of trading my own integrity and the commitment I've made to myself. So I hope that I'm successful. This is my second time doing it. I was successful in my very first attempt the first time, but at that time, I was driven by something completely different. And if you watch my video on my complete journey of 75 hard, just the raw, uncut version of it, you'll understand what was driving me and what was motivating me. And since I've dealt with and worked through so many of those issues in my journey to finding peace, I don't have that same drive. So this is really a test this second time around for me, is to figure out, what can I go back to that place and find something new that motivates me when I don't have that same really deep thing driving me. And that's another thing that I like about 75 hard is, you know, it's easy to be motivated for 30 days or whatever, but 75 days is enough time to where you break through that period of time where it's like you're just going off of motivation and you really have to tap into discipline. So I hope that this is a successful journey for me. I'm going to give it everything I've got. I'm trying to find something new within myself. I've got a different why this time. I've got a different reason this time. But whatever the results are and whatever happens, win, lose, or fail, I'm going to share it. And I'm going to share it honestly with you. So I hope that you enjoy the journey. Okay, so I redid this measurement without trying to fumble around with the camera. And yeah, it's 48 and a half, not 47 and a half. I just didn't feel good about my first attempt at that, so I redid it, and sure enough, it's 48 and a half. That I feel confident in. I mean, I'm not happy that I'm an inch fatter than I originally thought I was in my first measurement, which was 47 and a half, but this is accurate. This is really where I'm at.
And that officially wraps up day 0. If you've watched this far, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Again, if you're not subscribed, consider subscribing so you don't miss any of my videos. Drop a thumbs up, and I'll see you back here tomorrow for the official day 1 of round 2 of 75 Hard.